Every year, people over 60 spend billions on gym memberships, diet pills, and weight loss programs, while big food and the diet industry rake in profits. But what if the solution was hiding in your fridge this whole time? You've been told belly fat is just aging, that your slowing metabolism and expanding waistline are inevitable. But that's a lie, and the science says otherwise. New studies reveal that 8 specific foods, when eaten at the right time, can activate your body's natural fat-burning hormones while you sleep. But no one's telling you. Why? Because a healthy metabolism doesn't need their pills, and the inflammation keeps building. Your pants get tighter. You avoid mirrors. Simple activities leave you winded. Getting up from a chair becomes harder. It's not just about looks. It's dangerous. Visceral fat is one of the top reasons adults over 60 develop diabetes, heart disease, and lose their independence. But this countdown could change that. In this video, we will reveal 8 powerful foods ranked from least to most effective that can help reverse metabolic damage and melt belly fat starting tonight. And the number 1 food, it's backed by research that showed participants lost up to 23 pounds of pure belly fat in 12 weeks. Before we dive in, tell us in the comments, what's your biggest struggle with belly fat right now, and what do you usually eat before bed? We're reading and replying to every single comment with personalized tips. Now, let's begin with number 8, and it's one that nearly everyone overlooks. Number 8. Wild-caught salmon. Wild-caught salmon contains something that directly attacks the root cause of belly fat that most people completely miss, which is a powerful combination of omega-3 fatty acids called DHA and EPA that act as natural cortisol blockers in your body. This cold water fish delivers approximately 2,200 milligrams of these essential fats per 4-ounce serving, making it one of the most concentrated anti-inflammatory foods available in nature. When you consume wild-caught salmon before bed, your body begins a critical process that starts exactly 90 minutes after consumption. The omega-3 molecules travel through your bloodstream and penetrate directly into your fat cells, where they block cortisol receptors. Cortisol is the stress hormone that signals your body to store visceral fat around your organs. By blocking these receptors during sleep, the DHA and EPA literally turn off the fat storage switch while your body enters deep rest. A landmark study from the University of South Australia followed 124 adults over 60 for 12 weeks and found that those who consumed high-dose omega-3s from wild salmon experienced a 4.2-inch reduction in waist circumference and a 31% decrease in inflammatory markers, even without changing their exercise routine. The key mechanism here involves how your body processes these fats during deep sleep when growth hormone naturally peaks. During this window, the concentrated omega-3s reduce systemic inflammation by up to 58%, which stops your body from hoarding fat as a protective response. The proper way to maximize these benefits requires a specific cooking method that most people get completely wrong. You need to pan-sear the salmon skin side down for exactly 6 to 7 minutes over medium-high heat without flipping it, because this method keeps the fat layer under the skin intact, where the highest concentration of omega-3s exists. That crispy skin contains unique compounds that enhance absorption during your sleep cycle. Eat one 4 to 5 ounce portion approximately 2 hours before bedtime, and make sure you're consuming it with the skin on. Never remove the skin because it contains concentrated omega-3s and natural collagen that supports hormone regulation overnight. Pair it with a small portion of leafy greens to enhance mineral absorption. Here's the critical warning. Never, and I mean never, buy farmed salmon if you want these belly fat benefits. Farmed salmon is loaded with PCBs, contains artificial coloring to make it look pink, and has up to 50% less omega-3 content than wild-caught. Research from Indiana University found that farmed salmon actually increases inflammatory markers due to contamination. You'd be better off eating pizza than farmed salmon. Now, we're getting to the really powerful belly fat burning foods. Number 7. Eggs, specifically the yolks. This food has been the most wrongfully accused in medical history, demonized for decades by the same industry that profits from your metabolic failure. Egg yolks contain something that directly targets the hidden reason your belly fat won't budge, which is a powerful combination of choline and lecithin that literally force your liver to export stored fat out of its cells. One large egg yolk delivers approximately 147 milligrams of choline, making it nature's most concentrated source of this critical liver repair compound. When you consume egg yolks before bed, your liver begins a detoxification process that starts exactly 3 hours after consumption. The choline molecules penetrate directly into your hepatocytes, which are your liver cells, where they activate very low-density lipoprotein synthesis. This is the biological mechanism that packages trapped fat inside your liver and ships it out to be burned as energy. Here's what they never tell you. A fatty liver cannot burn belly fat, period. When your liver is clogged with fat, it shuts down fat burning completely. A landmark study from the University of North Carolina followed 664 adults over 60 for 18 months and found that those with adequate choline intake experienced a 28% reduction in liver fat and a 3.7-inch decrease in waist circumference. The researchers discovered that participants consuming at least 450 milligrams of choline daily had 43% better fat metabolism during sleep cycles when liver regeneration peaks. The proper way to maximize these benefits requires a specific cooking method that most people destroy completely. You need to soft boil the eggs for exactly 6 minutes in water, heated to 212 degrees Celsius, then immediately transfer them to an ice bath for 2 minutes. This precise timing keeps the yolk runny and protects the delicate lecithin compounds, which act as natural emulsifiers that break down fat globules in your liver. A completely hard yolk loses up to 70% of its lecithin content. Eat 2 to 3 soft-boiled eggs approximately 2 hours before bedtime, and make sure you're consuming the entire yolk. The runny consistency indicates the phospholipids are still intact and bioavailable. Here's the critical warning. Never consume raw egg whites. Raw egg whites contain avidin, a protein that binds to biotin and creates a deficiency that actually worsens fatty liver. Research from Harvard Medical School confirmed that biotin deficiency impairs fat metabolism by up to 40%. Always cook the whites until firm while keeping the yolk soft. Now we're moving into the truly powerful metabolic activators. Number 6. Avocados. Avocados contain something that most dieters actively avoid, which is a unique combination of soluble fiber and potassium that directly controls the two hormones responsible for belly fat storage, insulin and ghrelin. One medium avocado delivers approximately 975 milligrams of potassium and 10 grams of soluble fiber, making it one of the most powerful natural appetite suppressants available. When you consume avocado before bed, your body begins a process that starts exactly 90 minutes after consumption. The potassium molecules act as cellular gatekeepers, helping shuttle glucose into your muscle cells efficiently without requiring massive insulin spikes. This is critical because after 60, your cells become insulin resistant, meaning your pancreas has to pump out more and more insulin just to move sugar out of your bloodstream. High insulin levels lock your fat cells shut, making fat burning biologically impossible. A groundbreaking study from Loma Linda University followed 105 overweight adults for 12 weeks and found that those who ate one avocado daily experienced 5 hours of sustained fullness, compared to just 2.3 hours, with a low-fat meal containing the same calories. The participants who ate avocados showed a 40% reduction in insulin response and lost an average of 2.1 inches more around their waist. The key mechanism here involves how the monounsaturated fats slow gastric emptying, while the soluble fiber forms a gel in your intestines that blocks rapid glucose absorption. The proper way to maximize these benefits requires a critical addition that most people miss completely. You need to consume half a medium avocado with exactly 1/4 teaspoon of high-quality sea salt sprinkled on top. The sodium in sea salt works synergistically with potassium to create optimal electrolyte balance, which is essential for insulin sensitivity. Eat it approximately 90 minutes before bedtime. And make sure the avocado is ripe, but not overripe, when the flesh yields slightly to gentle pressure. Never eat avocado without added salt if you want these insulin benefits, because potassium without sodium creates an electrolyte imbalance that can actually increase cortisol and worsen insulin resistance. Next up, we have a beverage that boosts your passive metabolism while you sit on the couch. Number 5. Green tea, specifically matcha. Green tea contains something that pharmaceutical companies have tried to replicate for decades but never succeeded, which is a powerful catechin called epigallocatechin gallate, or EGCG, that directly blocks the enzyme responsible for shutting down your fat-burning hormones. 1 cup of high-grade matcha delivers approximately 137 milligrams of EGCG, making it the most concentrated natural metabolism activator available. When you consume green tea on an empty stomach, your body begins a process that starts exactly 45 minutes after consumption. The EGCG molecules travel through your bloodstream and inhibit an enzyme called catechol O methyltransferase, or COMT. This enzyme normally breaks down norepinephrine, which is the hormone that signals your fat cells to release stored energy. By blocking COMT, EGCG keeps norepinephrine active in your system up to 35% longer, which means your body burns fat even while you're sitting still. A landmark study from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition followed 240 overweight adults for 12 weeks and found that those who consumed 600 milligrams of EGCG daily experienced a 4.6% increase in resting metabolic rate and lost an average of 7.3 pounds more than the control group without changing diet or exercise. The key mechanism here involves how EGCG works synergistically with caffeine to enhance thermogenesis, which is your body's heat production that burns calories passively. During fasted states, this effect increases by 43%. The proper way to maximize these benefits requires precise preparation that most people destroy completely. You need to steep green tea in water heated to exactly 160 to 170 degrees for precisely 3 minutes. Use 1 teaspoon of high-quality matcha powder or 2 teaspoons of loose-leaf green tea. Drink it on an empty stomach first thing in the morning or exactly 30 minutes before light cardio exercise for maximum fat oxidation. Never use boiling water above 180 degree Celsius if you want these metabolism benefits, because high temperatures denature EGCG by up to 80% according to research from Purdue University. The compound is extremely heat sensitive and loses its enzymatic blocking ability when exposed to excessive heat. Number 4. Apple cider vinegar. Apple cider vinegar contains something that acts like a natural prescription drug without the side effects, which is acetic acid at a concentration of approximately 5% that directly blocks the enzymes responsible for converting carbohydrates into blood sugar. 1 tablespoon of raw, unfiltered apple cider vinegar delivers enough acetic acid to reduce the glycemic impact of your meals by up to 31%. When you consume apple cider vinegar before eating, your digestive system begins a protective process that starts exactly 15 minutes after consumption. The acetic acid molecules bind to alpha amylase enzymes in your saliva and stomach, which are the biological scissors that cut starch molecules into glucose. By inhibiting these enzymes, acetic acid literally prevents your body from breaking down carbohydrates efficiently, which means less glucose floods your bloodstream and less insulin gets released from your pancreas. Lower insulin equals fat burning, higher insulin equals fat storage. A landmark study from Arizona State University followed 11 adults with type 2 diabetes and found that those who consumed 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar before a high-carb meal experienced a 34% reduction in post-meal blood glucose levels compared to the control group. Another study from the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition showed that vinegar reduced the glycemic index of white bread by 31% and increased satiety scores by 23%. The key mechanism here involves how acetic acid slows gastric emptying, keeping food in your stomach longer, so glucose enters your bloodstream gradually instead of spiking. The proper way to maximize these benefits requires a specific protocol that protects your tooth enamel. Mix exactly 1 tablespoon of raw, unfiltered apple cider vinegar with the mother into 8 ounces of filtered water. Drink it through a straw to minimize contact with your teeth, and consume it precisely 15 minutes before your largest carbohydrate-heavy meal of the day. Never drink apple cider vinegar undiluted, because the acidity can erode tooth enamel and damage your esophagus. Research from the University of Arkansas confirmed that undiluted vinegar causes significant enamel erosion after just 2 weeks. Next, we have a snack that acts as a weapon against metabolic syndrome. Number 3. Raw almonds. This is the only snack I allow my patients to keep in their purse or desk drawer. Raw almonds contain something that gives you a metabolic advantage no other nut can match, which is a powerful combination of L-arginine and magnesium that directly combats metabolic syndrome, while your body physically cannot absorb all the calories you consume. 1 ounce of raw almonds delivers approximately 6 grams of protein, 270 milligrams of magnesium, and 740 milligrams of L-arginine. Here's what makes almonds metabolically unique. When you consume raw almonds, the L-arginine, which is a critical amino acid, travels to your muscle cells where it enhances your body's ability to burn both fat and carbohydrates during any physical activity, even just walking around your house. But the real magic happens at the cellular level. Almonds have an incredibly rigid cell wall structure that your digestive enzymes cannot fully break down, which means approximately 20% of the calories you consume from almonds pass straight through your system unabsorbed. You're literally eating food that satisfies hunger without all the caloric consequences. A landmark study published in the International Journal of Obesity followed 65 overweight adults for 24 weeks and found that those who consumed almonds as part of a calorie-restricted diet lost 62% more weight and 56% more body fat, compared to those who ate complex carbohydrates with the same calorie count. The almond group also experienced a 50% greater reduction in waist circumference. The key mechanism here involves how magnesium regulates over 300 enzymatic reactions in your body, including those that control insulin sensitivity and fat metabolism during sleep. The proper way to maximize these benefits requires a preparation step that activates the almond's full potential. Soak 1 cup of raw, unsalted almonds in filtered water overnight for exactly 8 to 12 hours. Then, drain and refrigerate them. This soaking process removes phytic acid, which is an anti-nutrient that blocks mineral absorption, and activates dormant enzymes inside the nut that enhance digestion. Eat approximately 1 ounce, which is about 23 almonds, as your afternoon snack between 2 and 4 p.m. when cortisol naturally dips. Here's the critical warning: never, under any circumstances, eat roasted almonds coated with vegetable oil and salt. The high heat oxidizes the omega-6 fatty acids in the coating oils, transforming them into inflammatory compounds that actually worsen insulin resistance. Those roasted almonds are inflammation bombs disguised as health food. Time to move on to a fiber source that acts like a vacuum for visceral fat. Number 2, psyllium husk. This is what I call the visceral fat vacuum. Psyllium husk contains something that forces your body to literally eat its own fat stores, which is a unique type of soluble fiber called gel-forming mucilage that traps bile acids and creates a metabolic crisis your liver must solve by burning stored fat. 1 teaspoon of pure psyllium husk powder delivers approximately 5 grams of this specialized fiber. When you consume psyllium husk on an empty stomach, it begins an extraordinary process within exactly 30 minutes. The fiber particles absorb water and expand up to 10 times their original size, forming a thick gel that travels through your intestines. This gel acts like a magnet, binding to bile acids that your liver produces from cholesterol to digest fats. Normally, these bile acids get recycled back to your liver, but the psyllium gel traps them and escorts them out of your body through elimination. Here's where the fat burning happens. Your liver realizes it's losing bile acids and goes into emergency production mode. To manufacture new bile acids, it must pull cholesterol and triglycerides directly from your bloodstream and fat stores, especially from visceral fat surrounding your organs. This process is called enterohepatic circulation interruption, and it's one of the most powerful natural fat-burning mechanisms available. A study from the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that participants who consumed just 10 grams of psyllium daily for 12 weeks experienced significant reductions in visceral fat without changing anything else in their diet. The key mechanism involves how this forced bile acid synthesis increases your liver's metabolic activity by up to 40% during overnight fasting periods. The proper way to maximize these benefits requires precise timing. Mix 1 level teaspoon of pure psyllium husk powder into 12 ounces of cold water, stir vigorously, and drink immediately before the mixture thickens. Consume this exactly 30 minutes before your evening meal. Here's the critical warning. You must drink at least 8 additional ounces of water within 30 minutes, or psyllium can cause intestinal blockage. Never take psyllium within 2 hours of any medication, because it will bind to and eliminate the medication before your body absorbs it. Now, we're about to reveal the number 1 most powerful belly fat burning food. Number 1. MCT oil. This isn't food. It's pure biological fuel. MCT oil contains something that triggers an instant metabolic switch your body hasn't used since you were born, which are medium-chain triglycerides, specifically C8 caprylic acid, that bypass your entire digestive system and convert directly into ketones within minutes. 1 tablespoon of pure C8 MCT oil delivers approximately 14 grams of these rapid-fire fat-burning molecules. Here's what makes MCT oil completely different from every other fat on Earth. When you consume MCT oil, it doesn't require bile acids or pancreatic enzymes to be digested. Instead, the medium-chain triglycerides travel straight from your small intestine directly to your liver through the portal vein, arriving within exactly 15 minutes. Once in your liver, they undergo immediate conversion into ketone bodies, specifically beta-hydroxybutyrate, which is the most powerful metabolic signal your body can produce. These ketones do 3 critical things simultaneously. First, they tell your brain and every cell in your body that you're in fat-burning mode, which triggers a cascade of additional fat oxidation. Second, they shut down ghrelin, which is your hunger hormone, eliminating cravings for up to 6 hours. Third, they provide clean energy to your brain without the glucose crash. A study from the Journal of the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics found that MCT oil increases thermogenesis, which is your body's calorie-burning heat production, by up to 12% for 4 hours after a single dose. Participants who consumed MCT oil daily for 16 weeks lost an average of 3.8 pounds more than those consuming olive oil with identical calorie intake. The proper way to maximize these benefits is to start your morning with bulletproof coffee. Blend 1 tablespoon of pure C8 MCT oil into 8 ounces of black coffee with 1 tablespoon of grass-fed butter. The hot liquid and blending create an emulsion that enhances absorption. You can also drizzle MCT oil over salads, but never use it for high-heat cooking because temperatures above 320 degrees Celsius destroy the molecular structure. Here's the critical warning, and I'm serious about this. If you've never used MCT oil before and you take a full tablespoon on day 1, you will experience what we call disaster pants. The rapid liver processing can cause acute diarrhea within 30 minutes. Start with exactly 1 teaspoon and increase by 1 teaspoon every 3 days until you reach 1 tablespoon. These 8 foods work together synergistically, meaning their combined effect is greater than using them individually. Here's a simple daily protocol to start melting belly fat immediately. Morning. Blend MCT oil into your coffee to kickstart ketosis. Lunch. Dress your salad with apple cider vinegar and top it with soaked raw almonds for sustained energy. Before dinner, drink Psyllium Husk to block fat absorption and force your liver to burn stored visceral fat overnight. You don't need to use all 8 foods at once. If you're feeling overwhelmed, start with just the top 3: MCT oil, Psyllium Husk, and raw almonds. Even implementing one of these correctly will produce noticeable results within 2 weeks. Belly fat is not your fault. Decades of bad advice from the food industry and broken metabolic pathways created this problem, but fixing it is your responsibility. And now, you have the tools to do it. Tell me in the comments, have you ever experienced disaster pants with MCT oil? Or which food will you try first? I'm reading every comment and replying with personalized advice. Thank you for watching.